Today I wanted to talk about the Season 2 preview dev talk for Zenless Zone Zero. After version 1.7, it's looking like we're going to head into 2.0. Out of nowhere, we got a solid 14-minute video from game designer Xuan, which basically teased what's coming in the second year of ZZZ. I took some notes of the important bits, and I wanted to talk about all the new juicy info. We weren't shown a ton, but we learned about the general story direction for Season 2. The main new location is Wi-Fi Peninsula, which is located in the Throne Quarter near the Lemnian Hollow. The main city in the area we'll be going to is Phalum Heights, which is built on top of a cliff. The area is rich in porcelain, which is a material highly resistant to ether corruption. We've actually heard about these locations before, sort of. In the New Year's event, Chingyi states she went to Wi-Fi Heights to get new porcelain parts. I assume Phalum Heights is the finalized name for the area. Due to porcelain mining being the core industry for the Wi-Fi Peninsula, this would be one of the issues that comes up in this story. It's been shown that various factions in New Eridu want resources from the Hollows, so controlling a lot of porcelain would be very valuable. That's most likely how the cast of Season 2 comes to interact. Mr. Y revealed a few more story beats that we'll be experiencing. Sarah's true plans will be continued to be uncovered, and we're going to learn about the Exaltas more. Unless I'm misinterpreting the story, it's assumed that Sarah is part of or working for the Exaltas. The Exaltas cult has also been referred to as just the Order, and it's heavily implied this is the same group tied to the Prophecy RPG mission, Arpeggio Fault, and the event with the laptop Nicole had us hacked into. Now, the Exaltas Order basically worship the Hollows and some creator. It's most likely that they are responsible for the fall of the old capital, and Bell and Wise have mentioned that one of the giant white hands Bringer controls was what kidnapped their teacher. Looking forward to finding out more. Now let's talk about some of the new agents and factions that will be part of Season 2. In a big reveal, we got a visual of Xuan. She is the leader of the Yunque Summit and will be a major character for the season. We just learned about Xuan from Jufufu, who is her disciple. Jufufu was the Tiger Thyron in the story mission for the version 1.6 Lost Void mode. Now, she mentioned Xuan is a bit of a more reclusive, mysterious type mentor and talked about not buying her more bird treats. Considering Xuan appears to have wings, she could potentially be a bird thyron of sorts. Her wings don't really seem like part of her body though, so who knows. Now, interestingly, we learned that Phaethon is going to become disciples of the Yunque Summit, and Xuan is going to be helping us explore the Hollows directly. People are, I think rightfully, wondering if the wings we've seen on our protags in Vivian's vision are going to be connected to Xuan's wings. If those wings are some kind of like device, then it could be what Vivian sees and it's not a metaphorical type vision. Really curious how it's all going to turn out. Now, another faction confirmed for Season 2 is Obol Squad. We just got more Soldier 11 lore in this update, plus Trigger made her debut. It wasn't confirmed in the dev talk, but from various Trust events we know of 3 other members. Captain Magus is the most mysterious, and Seed appears to be a large intelligent construct. I believe from Trigger we learn about Orpheus, or Orphe. It'll be interesting to see if Andy gets involved more after everything that's happened. Last faction confirmed are the Angels of Delusion. This was the previously tentative Virtual Idol faction, and they were leaked before ZZZ's launch. During the pre-release stream, the devs basically officially confirmed these are actual characters, and throughout the year we have gotten some hints about them. From version 1.3's event with Snap, who was being controlled by Astra, it is highly likely the friend Astra is helping in that event is the robot idol girl. In a poster in the background of the event art, you can clearly see her headgear. Now, when Astra was released, we also got the Angels of Delusion name from various NPCs. I'm not going to say anything else about the idols, but you do have to wonder how they are involved with this story. I guess we'll find out shortly, because on April 13th, there's going to be a Season 2 teaser trailer. When ZZZ released the head-on launch trailer that showcased most of the agents that came in the year, good chance we're going to get to see the new playable agents very soon. The next section talks about the type of content in Season 2 and how it's different from a regular update. First off, they mentioned map design is going to integrate residential areas with combat zones more. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but perhaps it's more like the Millennium Way Hollow event with Section 6. Now, for Phalum Heights, they did mention it's larger to ensure functionality and possibility of future expansion. They also talk about keeping function areas more condensed. As for loading times, it sounds like the larger area is going to mean no more needing to enter a loading screen to transition to a new area. As an example, it appears we're going to have a new base of operations akin to the Random Play store. This is the Suiben Temple. It sounds like you're just going to be entering the temple area from Phalum Heights directly. Now, the siblings are going to be working on restoring Suiben Temple back to its former glory. There's going to be a new management sim element and something called Bangbu Dispatch. Mr. White mentioned a new daily system, but I'm not entirely sure it's completely changing from what we have. It sounded like just to fit in with the culture and vibe of the new area, there's going to be different variations on our current dailies. For example, instead of house scratch cards, it might be like a fortune reading or something. Instead of coffee, we'll get tea. This is where I'm wondering if the management part of the sweep and tempo is just another variation on the store promotion plus movie picking thing we got going on. Now, the last new area that was talked about was the Aerospace City, which is located in the Lemnian Hollow. It appears this is going to be a larger explorable area and the starting point of our journey into that hollow. This is most likely the residential area with Combat Zone thing mentioned earlier. Now, something mentioned was that to smoothen out the gameplay loop, we don't have to return back to the video store to start a new mission. And for example, a lot of the times we have to go to a place, then go back to random play and the HDD. Instead of the back and forth, you're just going to accept a mission, then go explore and fight. We'll see what this actually means, but there was a very interesting quote. The crafty siblings will learn from their disciple training will also be a great help in their future hollow exploration. I mean, wings would be helpful, but perhaps this is also something to do with their implants. I'm assuming that's the more likely case. As an aside, I don't think TV mode was mentioned at all in this video. That is concerning because it was said they were going back to the drawing board for TV mode, and well, it's been pretty dead for the last couple updates. If it doesn't return in some form in 2.0, I mean, yeah, I guess that's that. Moving on to content optimization, we're getting more playable areas, so finally the sliding area selection system is being retired for a larger map format. Mr. Y stated we're going to get a clearer understanding of the geographical layout of New Eridu. Nothing was really showcased, but expect big changes. Another addition is a minimap along with navigation features. Now for the plot structure, it was recognized that the special episodes and main story were too independent, which resulted in weaker connections and disjointed viewing. As an example, the Seth and Jane special episode is pretty self-contained. For the next year, they're going to focus on intertwining special episodes with the main story of the Faith and Siblings more. I think the Astra and Elvin special episode is an example of what to expect. It was also mentioned that there is going to be steady updates to the main story each version. I'm not sure if this is including the new focus on the special episodes being more main story related. This is another wait and see. Last, if you haven't heard the news, Zenless Zone Zero is coming to the Xbox platform. They released an X-Boo Bang Boo for April Fools, and a couple days later it turned out it wasn't a joke. Now, I don't know if the X-Boo is happening, but there is a livestream for the Xbox launch on April 11th. This one is at 10 AM PDT. I do not know if this is separate from the expected version 1.7 livestream. For the next couple sections, Mr. Y was mostly laying out potential ideas for future ZZZ gameplay. Don't take anything here as set in stone. For Season 2 combat design, Y mentioned enhancing the functionality and performance of non-DPS agents. Sometimes it feels like the combat's a little too focused on the main DPS versus having a 3-man team. I think it's pretty obvious that they're already trying these ideas out, with Astra singing, Evelyn detonating her strings, and then poker and triggers, aftershocks. Definitely expect more off-field kits, or at least some kind of off-field visual like with Astra. For enemies, Y talked about new attack and defense mechanics and using specific counter strategies using teamwork. Didn't really go into specifics, but again, we've kind of been seeing more of this type of stuff with like Hugo or the Red Typhon boss, who both want you to perfect assist to engage with their attacks. He also talked about enemies getting stronger in certain areas. Maybe this can mean the battlefield will get some alterations. This section did not really reveal anything concrete, but Y stated the ultimate goal was to enhance the synergy between agents to elevate the combat and visual experience. Again, I'm going to refer to Hugo's boss fight. I know the time slowdown can be annoying for shield defense, but my god is it so cinematic and very cool. For Season 2 event design ideas, Mr. Y stated that they were going to improve on existing game modes such as the Bang Boo Fall Guys or Tower Defense modes. From previous Hoyo games I've played, it's fairly common for them to reiterate on the more popular events and bring them back later. I think for something like the 3D platformer EOS gameplay, you could do a whole lot with that. It doesn't have to be a Fall Guys type competition. Now for potential new ideas, I mentioned casual dueling between Bang Boo or controlling a giant Bang Boo in combat. Never did I think I'd be playing a tower defense mode in a 3D action game, but that's Hoyo for you. They love making their minigames, so I'm sure we can expect many more surprises in the future. For the last topic, Y talked about more slower paced events with lighter story elements. These are to balance out the more thrilling combat events and help enrich the everyday life outside the main story. They have talked about previously adding more functionality to areas like Lumina Square. We could get hangouts with agents at the Hot Pot restaurant or having events at the movie theater. Perhaps the new Phalum Heights have already incorporated some of these aspects. One of the more intriguing parts of this dev talk was about older agents. The dev team wants to give long-term value to the characters when they create them, so they try to relatively future-proof them. However, as time progresses, certain agents could use some adjustments. Y mentions that we could very well see reworks and or buffs to older kits. They will keep the unique parts of an agent and enhance them. This is going to be tailored for each agent. I take this to mean that any kind of buffing is not going to be in the form of a general power-up item or something. Now with these changes, Y also mentions considering compatibility with future agents. We just got a new Aftershock mechanic, so maybe they could rework an agent into a more Aftershock focused kit. that could be one way to go about it. I think it's clear that the Lost Void unique gears are a possible testing ground for future reworks. In the dev talk, they didn't say anything, but they did show gameplay of Corian and Astra using their Lost Void moves. There are quite a lot of alterations in Lost Void, so obviously not everything's going to get added. Considering it takes time to make new animations, I assume things like Ellen's horizontal ice wave have a higher chance of being added for real. That would be pretty sick. Now in terms of storytelling, Y mentions that they want even the older agents to get a chance to showcase their unique charms. We just got an entire update focused on Lycon, which includes his past involvement with Mockingbird and Hugo. This is going to continue in 1.7 as well. Now there was also Andy and Soldier 11's Silver Squad lore, with more Obol Squad involvement in Season 2. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to get more Soldier 11 screen time when the full team is released. The devs have recognized the challenges of trying to keep everyone involved in the story or buffing older agents. It's not going to be possible to make everyone happy realistically, but they want to continue to create meaningful relationships between the older characters and the players. One of Y's quotes was, "Showcasing a character's charm isn't just about mindlessly beefing up their stats." This was said in relation to the reworking of kits, but I think it's a fair statement for the general involvement with the story as well. I mean, they keep teasing about Billy's past, and then Seth's brother surely will get involved sooner or later. Let's hope some of these things get revealed more in Season 2. The end of the video included some notes from Mr. Y. He talks about ZZZ's shortcomings in the early stages of narrative and gameplay elements. Considering the massive changes with the TV mode, as well as the changing of the ultimate and decibel system, I think this is what he's referring to mainly. Of course, there have been many other changes, and the team is prioritizing content quality and receiving feedback. Y asks for you to continue sharing your feedback through the official community channels. That was the gist of the dev talk, and I think it's a nice preview of things to come. The actual 2.0 livestream probably isn't for a while. I mean, at the very least, we gotta get 1.7 started first. Now, upcoming, be on the watch for the Xbox livestream and the Season 2 teaser trailer. I'm not sure if we're going to get anything new from the Xbox launch, but the Season 2 trailer probably will show more faces and a look at the new areas. That'll be it for this video though, but let me know your thoughts on the dev talk. I will be trying to finish up my guide on Trigger in the coming week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.